Welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. This is your boy Trev, and
This is Steven.
what's up, Steven?
Same old, brother. Same old. Just been staying out in the water, trying to get as much as I can while I can.
Yeah, man, you've been killing it with the smallies down there.
Yeah, we had a pretty good weekend. It was fun. Anytime you can get the Mad Toms and go out and just work the big fish, it's a blast. They were a little difficult this time, but we still slammed down a couple of 3-pounders, 4-pounders. It was worth it.
And you have a little video of that coming out very soon here.
Yeah. I got most of the editing done today, and I just got to add in a couple other things. Then we'll have that up hopefully live Thursday is my projection right now, mainly because I've got to go into work tomorrow and not happy about that, but it cuts away from my time from editing.
Why does it always seem like we haven't been on the mic in such a long time?
I don't know. It really does, but at the same time, it's nice because it's just natural. It just flows right back. Not that I was any good to begin with, but
It reminds me of that segment, Life with a Derelict.
Life with a Derelict. Oh, you got another story to share today?
No,
I think
it just reminds me of the Life of a Derelict. I guess fuck it. I'll go with a nice story.
Yeah,
I guess.
let's lead it off.
So life with a derelict. So when I would spend time with the derelict, everything, because you had said natural, and everything was so forced and so business oriented and so oh, this had to be done and that had to be done, and it makes everything so stressful.
So the fun was robbed out of it.
Yeah, the derelict always stole the fun out of everything. He was a fun stealer, and it just never made it a good time.
Boy, it sounds to me like he just took whatever the hell he wanted.
Absolutely. Oh, he definitely took whatever he wanted. Let's not go there. It's not. But that's just life with a derelict. So sorry, I just had to chime in when you said about being natural, because we just want to be that natural, fun givers, not fun takers. We don't want to be the wet dream killers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we just don't want to be those guys.
Oh, that's funny. That's a good way to kick this one off.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it's just nice to be back, though, and talking with, yourself and talking with our guest today. It was good to be back on the microphone, man, and back in that motion of that feel. You kind of get caught up in the situations of life. I mean, we've all been going through this whole COVID thing, and it's just kind of taken a toll, but there seems to be some type of light at the end of the tunnel where life is kind of starting to go back to normal. I know that there's some surges in some areas that with the whole COVID bullshit, like Arizona and Florida and Georgia. But let's think of this for 1 second. And I'm going to put it in a little bit of logic, and its way that's been explained to me is those places never had a big surge.
No.
So
Florida,
this is
Texas, and Arizona combined doesn't have 1/3 of the casualty rate of New York City alone.
Correct. So they never went through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. They've never had that. With here in Connecticut, we've had 7 different fucking phases of COVID that have pushed through here. Waves.
Well,
no, it's true.
It's funny, and you're 100% correct. And actually, I was asking a doctor the other day. I said, "So, in your opinion, when do you think this will end?" And he turned and looked at me. He goes, "Whenever the politicians say it does."
Mm-hmm.
If that
funny story
puts you into perspective.
Funny fact, right? So, I was a little nervous being on the fishing boats, because you're around people constantly. And obviously, as a lot of you guys know, here in Connecticut, we're near New York City and things are a little bit more hectic than others. But I had a lady on the boat, and she was the head of nursing for 16 different hospitals across the country. And she was in the COVID units. That's what she was in charge of. And I had a conversation with her, and I said, I'm a little worried about this whole COVID thing. And she says, I'd be more worried about politicians than I would be COVID. And when it came out of her mouth like that,
Yep.
she said, yes, there's truly, honestly is a virus, right? And people are dying. Yes, they are. And these true things are actually happening. And I get it and I understand it. But where I'm going with this is like, yes, I'm afraid of COVID. Yes, it's fucking real. Yes, it can really happen to every single one of us. And something really could happen. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they're true. But the inflation of everything, the inflation of numbers, the inflation of cases, the inflations of deaths, the inflations of all these things are not true. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a huge inflation of them. So it is those things. And she was just telling me that, somebody who is of normal health and healthy, no underlying issues, is not effective. And they're making it way worse. And they're kind of putting the thumb down on all the people underneath them. So just one of those things, just kind of one of those things to think about, because I was petrified of it. I was afraid to be around the people and stuff, but now seeing the light of the tunnel and things are kind of, life is starting to go back to normal in a lot of places, and same with here. And, I hope that there's not another wave of it, but we'll see what happens when it happens. But I don't really care about that. I care about deer season because I think it's 96 days away here.
Yeah, it's close, man.
Yeah.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, holy crap, it's like right there. Am I ready?
No, I'm definitely not ready. Like, so tomorrow, me and Captain Seth, we're planning on going to put out trail cameras because we don't have trail cameras.
And what happened to that?
I killed a big shark yesterday, and we decided that we're going to go and kill another one tomorrow.
All right, I'm putting the brakes on. Back up. You killed a big shark yesterday. I saw it. I kind of got the inside scoop from you, but there are a lot of people asking. They want to know a little bit about the details. And frankly, after talking to you, it sounds like you had that unicorn day. And I think you ought to explain to everybody how the day went and why that is such a 1 in a million type day.
So with it, obviously these thresher sharks they've become a norm this time of year around here. When the chub mackerel and the bunker end up showing up, these things end up piling in, sometimes actually closer than normal. We've caught them in the sound before, but that's not yet. That will come in the future. So we know that around this time they show up, and my buddies have killed a ton of them. So we decided that we were going to go fish for him. So I had a trip in the morning, and a good friend of mine, Captain Mike, as you guys all might know and hear about him, Fetus. We decided that we were going to go catch a thresher. So we took off. We were actually a little bit late because our good buddy Don, he had to work, and we were supposed to leave at 2:30. He didn't. Then he was going to show up at 3. He didn't end up showing until 4. Fueled up the boat, and we took off. It's about an hour and a half ride. So we got out to where we were going, and we tried finding bait. We were looking for the chub max, and we couldn't find them right where they were. So we actually had to turn around and come back in halfway and grab some bluefish. So we grabbed some fresh bluefish. We headed back off. So that was about another 45 minutes. We set in, and we actually caught it on a bluefish fillet. And so we set it up, and Captain Mike goes, I don't know, man, that bluefish fillet is getting a little nervous. Just joking around. 10 minutes later, while we hear bzzz, bzzz, which a thresher will tail whack their prey before they actually eat it. So you hear them tail whack it, and then they'll come back, and then they'll take it, and then there it goes. So we're on. And this fish was really erratic, man. It was like one of the very wild, and didn't fight like a normal fighting shark. And what he actually did was he actually charged the boat at one point. We thought we lost this fish 5 times before Mike even handed me the rod. So Mike set the hook on the fish, and then handed me the rod. I locked in because I was getting a belt on. I locked into this fish. Mike thought he lost it 5 times. This thing was just erratic. Left, right, back, forward. It was coming towards the boat, staying in one spot. I mean, it was definitely not acting like a normal shark. So I ended up locking into this fish. So we had set in for 10 minutes. We hooked the fish after 10 minutes of setting in. And he ended up taking off 6 minutes after we had hooked into him. So 16 minutes into this fight, we put the dart in this fish. So, which is almost unheard of with a big thresher. So 6-minute fight, and we had this thing in the boat. Mike had darted it, but in the meantime, when this thing had charged the boat, it came in and it got stuck in the rudder. So we could see the fish 20 feet down out on the side of the boat, but the string was going underneath the boat. And it had caught on our gear underneath. So then it comes out, and then it gets stuck on the chum pot, which Mike is very, very intelligent when it comes to shark fishing. Mike is a very good shark fisherman, always somebody I've looked up to when it comes to shark fishing because he's very good at it. He's very meticulous, and he knows how to target those what we call exotic sharks, which is makos and threshers, which those are your edible sharks. Anybody can catch a blue shark, but catching your exotics, man, is one of the hardest things, and Mike is very good at it. But one of the things that he's kind of done is he made this special chum bucket, and I won't go into it because that's his special chum bucket. And secrets. I think that he should make I think he should make a patent on it because it's so fucking smart what he did.
Gotcha.
So what he uses when he ties it to the boat, really thin string, like shitty twine type string.
Don't give it away.
Well, no, this is a very smart thing. So he makes a floating chum bucket. So what happens is if it breaks off the side of the boat, then what happens is you just let it go and then you just watch it, and then you never break slick, which breaking slick is very important because if it's a fish that you're not going to kill, then you need to get back on your slick. So if you are to pull the bucket out of the water, then you lose your slick, and then you're not keeping those fish coming into the boat. So it's very smart because he breaks it off. So the fish ends up getting caught in the bucket, breaks off the little shitty twine, and it stays there. We end up reeling in the fish, harpooning it, killing it, and then going back and getting the bucket. But if we weren't to kill that fish, we can just tie back up the bucket and didn't break slick. So it's very smart what he did. So in 16 minutes, we ended up killing it. From port to port was about 3.5, 4 hours, which is unheard of. To kill your exotic and end up back to the dock in less than 4 hours. And it's an 1.5-hour travel for us, 45 minutes to find bait, and we were back to the dock. So pretty cool. It was a fun experience, man. My first exotic on the boat. I've caught a bunch of makos, not big enough. When I first started shark fishing, the regs had changed from 54 inches to 83 inches for makos, but now they've brought it down to 71 on the males and 83 on the females, I believe. So, and that's because of when they reach their sexual maturity. So you couldn't kill them. So I've caught a bunch of them, but never been able to kill one. And then this was my first thresher that I actually killed. And a lot of people ask, thresher sharks are very good eating fish. They taste like a swordfish, and they'll fill the freezer. So we all split that up, and hopefully tomorrow we can relive what we did yesterday. I'm really excited. Me and Captain Seth and a good friend of ours, Nick, are headed offshore after our trip in the morning, and hopefully we can kill another one.
Hell yeah, dude. That's friggin' awesome.
It is badass, dude. Ours was 69 inches. Probably put it around $180. Pretty big fish. Not the biggest in the world, actually. We had heard of one that got caught yesterday. It was 94 inches. And
jeez.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. A lot of you guys, and we had done a Facebook Live on it, and things got serious haywire quickly. So we ended up having to put the camera down. And when there's only 3 of us, I mean, we didn't have a harpoon ready. We didn't have a tail rope ready. We didn't have a gaff ready. We didn't have shit ready. We literally just had rods in the water. And I kept telling Don, who was the captain of the boat, I said, listen, get the harpoon. We'll get it when you hook into one. I go, no. I said, you get the fucking harpoon. Sure than shit, he didn't get the harpoon. Didn't get the tail rope. So we had a little bit of havoc. So when we were doing it, you can check it out on my personal page, the Facebook Live. We literally put it down. You can just hear us screaming, "It's in the gear. We're gonna lose them!" The whole climax, the whole thing. You can hear it on audio, and then I come back on video once it's already tail wrapped and dragged behind the boat. So it was cool. It was a cool trip, man. I'm excited, and I hope we can do it again tomorrow. And we've actually talked about, if anybody is interested, we're gonna run Tuesday shark trips. So if anyone is interested, we've definitely opened up Tuesday. I know Tuesday's podcast day, but if they want to do a shark trip, we've opened it up to do charters on Tuesday for shark. So pretty cool.
So everyone who takes a Tuesday trip you can blame yourself for not getting your Tuesday podcast. Just kidding.
We'll still podcast. We'll just start early and then we'll end, and then I'll come into the studio.
You're good. I'm just busting your balls.
Yeah, no. We'll still get a podcast out, I promise.
No, that's friggin' awesome, dude. So with that, you also had another first that kind of it made me laugh. So our boys over at WCB kicked out the first WCB picture with a shark. So
yes,
hats off to you.
Yeah, I got the award for the first shark, and what exactly?
I'm trying to remember how he said it.
Hold on, I'm gonna look at it up right now.
When he posted that, it made me laugh. I was like, I guarantee you that was the last thing on his mind when he posted that.
Yeah, he had posted. I gotta find it here. I couldn't believe that he even posted it. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't expect him to. I was just tagging him because I was wearing my lucky hat. Oh, here it is. Is the first shark and WCB photo champion goes to the Outdoor Drive podcast.
Yeah. Mad props. Kurt, thanks for paying attention.
It was cool. I was glad. I was kind of pumped about it. I had just tagged him in it because, I don't know, I was wearing my WCB hat, my brown one, which I normally is my lucky shed hunt hat. So I had grabbed it, and it's like my everyday hat now.
Well, you know how the reason I say Kurt, thanks for paying attention, is because I know it wasn't Steve.
Yeah, right.
Steve would have had some other off the wall comment for you other than that.
He would have, who God only knows what Steve would have said.
I'm not even going to attempt to say what he would have come up with because that dude can one line off the top of his head. Absolutely. And they're always great, but that was definitely not a Steve comment.
No, not at all, man. Well, you know what, Steve? To be honest with you, I think that we should... Oh, shit. Do you hear that?
I do. I think we ought to crank it up. What is that?
That's the news for your cruise. Micah Salta.
Sweet. Let's let it roll.
Hey everyone, Mike here with some news for your cruise. Let's start this one off in Pennsylvania, and all you predator hunters out there, listen up because this one's for you. The Pennsylvania House and Senate have approved House Bill 1188. It was sent to the governor on June 24th. The bill updates and revises the restrictions on the use of infrared, thermal, and similar night vision optics and devices used for hunting, which were previously prohibited. So that is expected to be signed by the governor, but no date on that as of yet, so keep an eye out. Now on to black bears. At it again in the news, this time in Illinois. This one's been going on for a little while. Black bear has been roaming through western Illinois since June 10th, where the bear traveled all the way from Wisconsin, and the DNR has stated that it is likely looking for a mate, but they don't believe that the bear will stay because Illinois doesn't really provide appropriate habitat for the bear to be there long term. The bear has been getting a lot of public attention, and the DNR is urging people to stay at least 100 yards away from the bear and let it continue its journey safely on its own. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that a little more in the news as that bear either sets up shop in Illinois or decides to return to Wisconsin. For anyone who hasn't heard, Martin Archery recently announced their acquisition of Obsession Bows, bringing together two major bow brands. And for all you Obsession shooters out there, there's no need to worry. Martin Archery has stated that they are working to continue the Obsession line of bows, so that's great. So now let's switch gears to some invasive species to be on the lookout for here. The first one right here in my home state of Connecticut, marine scientist at Copp's Island has confirmed that the highly invasive Chinese mitten crab has been found in Norwalk. 6 crabs have been found since December. So far, 5 male and 1 female, and all of reproductive size. These crabs are native to China and are considered a delicacy in Asian cuisine. And for nearly a century, they have occupied other areas across the world and have actually been a top 100 invasive species in the world. The crabs tend to migrate up freshwater rivers from saltwater bays and burrow into the banks. They destabilize the shores, weakening dams and levees. They clog screens, pumps, and other water intake structures, effectively turning your embankments into jello and causing hundreds of millions of dollars in damage. They're a super resilient species that also threaten human health. They carry a handful of harmful bacteria and also a parasite that attacks human lungs if eaten raw or undercooked. A single female Chinese mitten crab can release up to 1 million eggs. And recreational and commercial fishermen are being encouraged, if they find one of these, not to put it back at all, not to release the crabs back into the waters. And to be on the lookout for these crabs are specific in the sense that they have furry claws, and none of our native species here in Connecticut have that feature. So if you find a crab with furry claws, please don't put it back, and contact not only Cops Island but also the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection immediately. So now on to Virginia with another invasive species to be on the lookout for you anglers, and that is the Alabama bass. The Alabama bass is a species that outcompetes the largemouth and also hybridizes with the smallmouth bass. The bass are nearly identical to spotted bass. Their distinguishing features are that the jaw of Alabama bass lines up with the middle and to rear of the eye, whereas the largemouth jaw extends beyond the eye, and they have a dark, blotchy lateral band from the head to the tail and have spots below that band. Anglers who suspect they have caught an Alabama bass should take a picture and clip a thumbnail-sized portion of a pelvic fin. Then store that fan clip dry in an envelope and can contact the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries in Virginia. Now let's have some positive news from right here, again, out of the Northeast in Rhode Island. On Wednesday, July 1st, the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management held a ribbon cutting for the new Rocky Point State Park fishing pier in Warwick, Rhode Island. This new pier is 280 feet long, and it's a T-shaped pier with shade structure, benches, railings, and solar lighting. The railing heights on the pier are various heights to allow people of all ages and abilities to enjoy access to Narragansett Bay and one of the state's prime fishing areas. So if you're in the area, try your luck and let me know how the bite is. So as always, I'd appreciate if you guys have any news. Feel free to reach out, Facebook or Instagram, Mike Salter, bearded_bowhunter21. That's it for today, and enjoy your ride.
Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you, man. Always doing your due diligence, bro. We appreciate it, man. Even on vacation last week and still had the news for the cruise. Really stepping up that game, bro.
He's on it. He's going back to an earlier conversation. He's trying to set that bar.
He's setting it high. And well not even done. That, but he got his unicorn back. He came and picked up his Euro mount.
Yeah, that thing was cool looking. I ain't gonna lie.
It is, dude. That was badass, bro. I didn't want to give it back.
I know you didn't.
Fucking cool as hell. He had like weird bone in the front of his forehead too. Like he had like bone plate. Like he was probably gonna have another antler come straight out of the center of his forehead. If you look real closely.
I cool. Almost want to say, Mike, you should have gave it another year, but at the same time, I'm going to say, Mike, I'm glad you didn't give it another. I mean, it just came out great.
I'm almost glad. I mean, like he Euro'd it and shit, but I would have loved to see it. I mean, it's that caliber of deer would should have had a full shoulder mount.
Yeah,
but it was cool to see it the way that it was. I mean, if I had the extra money, I was just going to bring it to a taxidermist and have it mounted for him, but I don't have that money, so maybe in the future. So,
Mike, make sure you stay on his ass, kill another big one this year. Maybe Trev will pay for your euro and then just have it full mounted.
No, yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's thank the people we partner with.
Yeah, give them a shout.
So first off, I want to go and thank the people that we work with. I want to start with the good old Nor'easter game calls. Nor'easter game calls. Get them in close. Check them out, nor'eastergamecalls.com. We're getting into that pre-deer season mode, so go and check out the Evolution series, Grunt Tubes. We got some new stuff coming out, so make sure you stay tuned to that, nor'eastergamecalls.com.
Also, we still got to finalize that design for Mark.
I know, seriously.
There's one little piece, but we got to get that finalized.
I know. What's Wild Edge? WildEdgeInc.com. Go and check them out over there. The leader in mobile hunting. Live wild. Your perch, your saddle hunting needs. Go and check them out. WildEdgeInc.com. Also, Wicked and Twisted Bowstrings. Use promo code OutdoorDrive10. Save yourself 10%. Custom bowstrings, any color. Get jillified over there at Wicked Twisted Bowstrings. Also, Broadside Camo. BroadsideCamo.com. You guys hear the same shit every single time. Outdoor Drive is the promo code on that one. That one, if you buy something, you get something for free if you use the promo code Outdoor Drive.
Yep. $45 purchase gets you a little extra something thrown in free.
That's what it is.
And now's the time. I can't tell you enough. Start getting your gear.
Yes, don't wait until the last second. Use it, especially if you guys are going in that mobile hunting, that the saddle hunting, the tree stand mobile hunting. Go and get your shit now. Try it on. Use it. Get comfortable with all of your steps, your perches, your aiders, your swaders, even your new camos. Man, Broadside came out with that new sweatshirt, the saddle hunting sweatshirt for early season.
I can't wait to get that hoodie in. I got some cool. As soon as those cameras come in, that Drew is kicking down, I am going to do a really cool video just to show you and disprove what everybody is worried about the way he has his camo set up with the light diffusion going into dark.
And the funny thing is, if you want to see it too, a lot of you guys may or may not have checked it out, but on our YouTube page, we actually have a video with the Broadside camo stuff. If you want to check it out, most of it's for the Versa Light, the early season stuff, but it's still the photorealism stuff. So you can go on there and check that out. D&M Custom Arrows, dnmcustomarrows.com. Go and check them out for all your custom arrow needs, whether it is the traditional world or the compound world. Make sure you go and check them out.
And make sure you tell Gary to continue sending those incredible voicemails. Yeah,
we love his voiceover. And actually, congratulations to Gary also, because he's on The Push. If you guys haven't seen it, it's the traditional podcast, The Push. You can check him out on YouTube. He just did a video of turkey hunting, which actually came out phenomenal. Gary did a great job with that.
Awesome.
A new partner. We have two new partners, actually. The first one is Out on the Limb. outonthelimb.com, dude. If you guys haven't gone and checked it out, the new sticks that he just came out with, he's got a ton of different platforms. The camera arms, the reach, you name it, he's got it. When it comes to innovative side of the mobile hunter, Out on the Limb is the place to go. Light versatility of it. It's amazing.
100% American made, in-house by hand.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. And he's just fucking badass. And if you haven't listened to it, we have an Out on the Limb podcast with Matt Garris. So go and listen, and you can hear a little bit about that. Also, we just partnered up and working with Rack Rage.
Wait, who's that?
Rack Rage.
Rack Rage.
Rack Rage. So if you guys haven't seen it, go and check it out. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook. We give out the addresses in this podcast alone. So go and check them out and use them for the lady too. Make your lady in your life happy with a new piece of
apparel. I think that's where you look for.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was looking. Whatever. So we thank them for making this possible and me to stumble over my words. Thank you, guys.
If they're still listening, then
They probably already skipped over this. They're like, we've heard this thing fucking 13 times. What does it really matter?
Yeah, they want to get to the meat and gravy of it. So I guess we should just give them what they want. Isn't that how it goes? The customer's always right, or something like that.
Here in our world, they're not. So, but let's give it to them.
Ooh, I like it. Rule change. I'm down with that.
All right.
All right, let's roll into it. Let's bring on Derek from Full Draw Assassins.
Nice shot. Here comes a shooter. Shooter. Big buck. Stag.
All right, we're back on the phone with Derek from Full Draw Assassins. What's up, Derek?
What's up, boys? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good, you know. Just got done work. Rushed here to talk to you fellas.
Oh, I don't know why you rushed home for that.
It's an excuse to get out of work. I can get behind that.
That's true. I'm thinking about hunting all day at work, so why not? Nothing better to come home and talk hunting. So
I like it.
It's that time of year, man. We were just talking about that and how everybody's in that mode now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm at work.
Getting cameras, yeah.
I'm thinking about hanging a tree stand with a tool belt on, you know.
Daydreaming you're in the tree stand.
That's kind of like a saddle.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm 5 foot off the ground and scaffold, dude. I start pulling back and thinking about stuff.
That's awesome.
Well, if the HVAC guy came in this side, I could turn this way. If the electrician came on this side,
I'll thump him right in the double long. Well, Derek, why don't you tell everyone who you are, man, where you're from, and what you do?
All right, my name's Derek Bradis. I'm a union carpenter from a small town about a half hour outside of Philadelphia. I'm the co-founder of Full Draw Assassins. Me and my best bud, Ken Wrights, and we're loving life right now, man. Everything's going out good for us, and we're just getting ready for deer season like you fellas are, and just counting down the days, man. It's coming quick.
Awesome.
So what exactly is Full Draw Assassins?
That's
for those that don't know.
I was going to say.
Well, do you want to know how it started or what it is? I mean, what it is, it's the best way I can describe it. It's me, my best bud. I mean, we've been hunting for about 4 or 5 years now, and we kind of just were bow hunting, you know, just like no filming, nothing, just like regular Joes. And I always had the interest in filming hunts and putting it out there, you know, just kind of just for us. I always thought it'd be cool to that lull period, like right now, to go back and watch a buck I shot in November on my TV just to get me through it. I always thought that'd be like the coolest thing in the world. But I knew nothing about cameras. I knew nothing about filming, none of that. And I came to him and one day and I was like, it was actually this past August, and I was like, hey, dude, I'm thinking about filming my hunts this year. You want to do it? And he's like, oh, I'll help you out, whatever you need me to do. You know, he wasn't really big on the idea of it because a lot of people don't know, but we're not hiding it by any means. He shot his first deer this year. He wasn't a real successful hunter leading up to last season, but he never quit and he kept pushing at it and he finally got it done. He got his first doe. First deer we got killed on film. Actually, I was sitting there filming him, so that was pretty cool. But so he was a little reluctant into getting into filming and stuff. He felt like that was more pressure on him, which is completely understandable. So I didn't push it on him at all. It was kind of just my thing that I really wanted to do. And then he was like, okay. So I had a camera laying around the house, a nice DSLR. And we went out to the lease that we have, and we started just taking pictures of us shooting, video of us hanging tree stands, stupid stuff, you know, that everyone does.
Yeah, that's how you learn.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, let's put it out there, you know, let's put it out there because there's not many where we live. It's not It's not a big hunting community. You don't really have the following that a lot of states or towns do. So we wanted to kind of be different from everyone else in our area. So I was like, let's make an Instagram or something just to put our stuff out there. I don't care. But we weren't planning by any means of doing anything with it. And yeah, so we made the Instagram. He's like, what do you want to make the name? I was like, I don't know. When I was a kid, I always had a dream of like an outfitter called Full Draw Outfitters. I always thought that was like the sickest name. Because like Full Draw to me has always meant something special. I actually have live life at Full Draw tattooed on my arm. It's a big deal to me. You boys know, like when you're at Full Draw, the world stops.
Oh yeah.
You know, everything just calms down. You don't hear nothing. You don't feel nothing. You don't know what time it is. Nothing matters. The only thing that matters is you're a full draw looking down on that animal. So that's just that little simple full draw meant so much to me. And I was like, all right, let's do full draw. And then I was thinking something to go with it. And I was like, dude, Assassins is pretty fucking badass, dude. Let's do that. And it's kind of ironic because we're not assassins by any means. And you get a lot of haters say that shit all the time too.
Let them hate.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck them.
Yeah, because he shot his doe last year. We had it on film. It was awesome, dude. It was so fucking cool. He shot her in the neck, and he didn't aim. If you watch the video, I told the dude, if you watch the video, she ducked, and he actually got lucky. Like he was gonna shoot over her back, and she turned and hit her in the neck. And people, oh, you call yourselves assassins? But like, she's fucking dead, isn't she? And send a picture of our plate eating her. So that's what we're about, dude. And then after starting that, it just kind of started to kind of just take off a little bit, like faster than we expected and not really what we wanted. We didn't know we were gonna make anything out of it. Now it's like a 365-day job for me. Like I'm just so invested in it, like everything.
I feel you, especially when you throw the camera into it. Nothing stops. It's just insane how much time it takes to cut a 20-minute video.
Well, a 8-hour hunt turns into a 2-day hunt if you count the editing and everything else that afterwards. But I love it, dude. Like I absolutely love it. I love sitting up till 1 o'clock in the morning editing photos and a video. I'm obsessed with it.
See, and Trev, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys do that shit because I won't.
Yeah, I'm just obsessed with it. And it takes like a certain person because he won't do that sometimes. Like he's not in that, but he knows that I'm into it and he'll support me, you know? So that's why we're like a yin and a yang. Like we kind of work. We work together good in that sense. And I got a lot of friends that hunt that think I'm crazy for wanting to, that takes the fun out of it. Not for me, dude. It makes it more fun. I love it. It adds so much more to it than what it is.
And I guess, going back on a lot of it, because like when you're saying it, like, Kenny shooting his first deer last year and so on and so forth. I mean, like to you guys, that shit doesn't really matter. I mean, that doesn't, him being out there and grinding and you out there and, the way that he took a shot and everything and those haters. I mean, that's the fuel to the power there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And that you guys are just that raw real, like whatever happens, it is what it is. And when people are busting your ass, you send them a picture of the meat on the table. It doesn't matter how you got there. And I think a lot of people go through this whole filming thing and they get nervous about what to put on the internet. As obviously you might know, like I had a problem with that with people with turkey hunting season this year. Guy goes to me and said that I should have tagged a bird that I missed because he said that I injured it or wounded it. When I didn't, I completely missed it. It went up 30 yards and I actually called that thing around me for fucking over an hour. Never ended up shooting it again. But putting things out on film is a tough way because your perspective is different than what other people perceive it as.
Exactly. And that's what I said to people. I mean, there was this one guy in particular. I slowed the reel down and even posted in slow motion to see the deer ducking. And he was going to miss straight up. And the deer, she ducked and turned, and it was just by luck that the arrow hit her. And we were happier than pigs and shit, dude, because I was there. I filmed him get his first deer, man. It was fucking awesome. Like I was so happy. And when I did that and I filmed my first filming someone else shoot a deer, it was like I shot the deer and I'm like, I fucking love this shit, dude.
Yeah,
like, I am fucking hooked. And I tell him, I'm like, dude, I will sacrifice hunts to film you because I just love filming hunts, man. It's awesome. Like you you feel like you shot the deer yourself. It's really a cool, satisfying feeling, man. I love it.
Well, and that's one thing, I guess, anyone who's been in the cinematic end of things, doing the film, doing anything of that nature, the guy's shooting it with a bow, but guess what? You still got to get the shot with the camera. And that's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah, and God bless his soul, man. Like, I can't talk any more highly of Kenny, man. He's my best bud since we were 11. I can even get into how we met up to hunt. We actually got a crazy story, but I get into that later. But man, we're both 27, man, and for him to shoot his first deer last year and keep grinding after the years of not getting it done, and seeing me shoot bucks and seeing me shoot does and having successful and filling tags. And to have him not give up, like, I tell him all the time, dude, I'm like, you know how many guys your age would say, fuck this, dude, I'm going to the bar Saturday. I'm not going out hunting. I don't shoot shit. You know what I mean? But he fucking at it, man. And this year, I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it. He's going to shoot a nice buck, his first buck. And I'm going to get it on film. I told him, I said, dude, I'm sacrificing so many hunts to film you because I want to get that moment when you get your first buck, dude. It's going to be awesome. I want to be there the whole ride. Definitely. And he's putting in so much fucking work. He's a better shot than me with a bow. I'll be the first one to tell you that. Well, so all he has to do is just show up, man. I'll take care of the rest for him. For
sure. And that's one other thing. So going back to the haters, people talking all the shit. Mm-hmm. Every hunter I know that has seen a modern hunting show sits in their head and goes, man, I wish I had my first kill on camera. That would have been awesome.
Exactly.
And he does.
Yep.
You know, so
that's exactly what it is, man. And that's what we try to tell, like what you said about the haters and stuff like that. Like, it turned into just a page for us, and now that it's kind of taken off, we're shifting gears to kind of what we want our message to be, and that's kind of because in our area we don't have guys that hunt, and if we do have guys that hunt, they're just gun hunting once a year, and that's it, which is fine if that's what they're into. I'm not going to knock anybody, but I'm trying to show that there's more out there. And like a guy like Kenny can pick up a bow after not hunting for 10 years and then keep working at it and grinding at it and get it done. Like, anyone can do this. It's like, I'm self-taught photographer. I'm self-taught video skills. I'm everything's self-taught. Anyone could do this. I'm a construction worker from a suburban town in Pennsylvania. Like, I'm nobody. And
I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
Yep. And that's what I'm just trying to show people. Like, you could do this shit. Like, if you just have drive and determination, you could do fucking anything, and especially when it comes to hunting, because you already have the passion for hunting down. You don't have to get that. You already have that. So you just add everything else in there. You could do this shit, and that's just kind of the message we're trying to put out there.
I think that's a very solid message, and I think it's a message that a lot of us actually follow behind, man. Because like us, like me, Steven, you. I mean, a lot of people that we were friends with, we're just normal, average dudes that just happen to try and conquer our dreams, man. Like, I get people all the time, dude. Like, I had someone today, you know, because I killed that shark yesterday, and they're like, oh my God, dude, you're really living the dream. And I go, no, I'm not living the dream. I'm fucking chasing the dream. This is what I've always wanted to do. And it's not a hard thing to do, man. You just got to set your mind to it and just... Yep. And just keep following through. It's going to happen. I'm not fucking lucky. I'm not fucking Superman. I'm not special.
Nothing's going to happen unless you make it happen. I'm a firm believer in it. That's
exactly what I've been just trying to grind so hard, man. Like, this is just, me personally, not with Kenny, not involved with Full Draw Assassins. Like, my whole life, like I went to college, didn't fucking work. I dropped out, didn't do it. Did a couple construction jobs, didn't like it. Joined the Army. I had fun time. I met buddies. It was awesome.
Which, congratulations on your ETS.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your service, Steven.
We had to do something to keep our asses out of trouble.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you would have turned out like me.
Yeah.
We could only aspire.
What's that? Killing fucking 3 turkeys a year? That's pretty good.
3 turkeys, a shark, 17 deer.
3. That's pretty good, dude.
4, sorry.
Trev,
4.
I think you're living a dream, dude.
Stop it,
He's
bro.
chasing it. He's chasing it. You heard him.
I'm not living it. This is living it would mean that I would have a free ride to do that. Chasing it's a total different world, my friend.
For you. Chasing the dream, Trev. There it is.
I like
Put it on a t-shirt. Put that on a T-shirt.
But the thing with that, honestly, though, is that a lot of people with the camera, right? So everybody sees the camera and us doing whatever, and we're filming this and pictures and the glory and all these great things. But how many days, how many weeks, how much time, how many hours do we go through to try and make that one glorified picture or that one glorified 5-minute film?
Yep, and that's why I put out everything, man, and that's one of the reasons I do that. I put out. We're going to Ohio in November for a week-long bow hunt, me and him, and we went out there and marched for 5 days and scouted. I put that whole video on our YouTube. I put everything out. We're hanging stands. I want people to see the work that we're doing, not bragging or saying that like, hey, look what we're doing to get it done. No, I just want if someone could see what we're doing and take. Like, hey, they're doing this that way. And then they message me or text me like, hey, why'd you do that? And then I can explain to them. So I try to put everything we do out in the open so everyone knows what we're about all the time. I don't want to just show up and shoot a buck. And like you said, you're going to say, oh, you're living a dream. No, I worked for it. If you go back and look, you'll see why I hung this fucking stand here. You know?
Yeah, nobody did it for you.
Right.
No, that's... You got to just do everything yourself and take it and just keep grinding, man.
Well, that 10 seconds of glory and that grip and grin, if you think about it, probably cost you about 300 to 500 man hours to get to.
So I got a funny story from this Saturday, actually, that you said that. Steve. So we were at our lease Saturday doing a bunch of work. It was like 96 degrees. We were there for like 8 hours doing all this work, and it was towards the end of the night. Kenny's getting tired if you ever have him on here with us, when he gets tired, he gets fucking cranky. You don't want to be around him, dude. He's worse than my girlfriend sometimes.
I do not know Trev like that.
He's my second girlfriend. He's my weekend girlfriend.
There you go. I like it.
So towards the end of the day, and we have one more feeder that we got to go replace the batteries in, and we're going to it, and he's trying to unscrew the cap of it. And he's like, "This isn't fucking working, Dirk. This isn't working. Let's just go. It's probably fine." I looked at him. I said, dude, the littlest fucking shit. I said, when you're holding a fucking nice 8-pointer, whatever it is, in October, because we stopped here and took the extra time to check the batteries on this and set the fucking feeder to go off. It's just little shit like that. Might not be exactly that, but all the little shit that you say, now I'll get to it. When you add all them up, it equals one big thing. And that's what I told him. I said, you'll be remembering this when I'm taking your picture with a buck, all the little shit that you didn't want to do or I didn't want to do, and we pushed each other to keep moving because we knew it would be worth it.
That's the truth. Because you skip the corners and that success isn't going to feel as good. Or it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it could be the littlest thing, but if you add up all those little things that you don't do, they add up to make one big mistake.
And it adds up to that 300 to 500 man hours to make it happen.
Yeah. That one night that you get home from work and you're too tired, you don't want to shoot your bow, well, you never know. That one night that you shooting might have helped you out.
Yeah. Well, rolling it back, thinking about like from the old combatives perspective, whether, if you ever wrestled or you were in MMA or military combatives or whatever it be, you learn that if you take care of the small stuff, something as simple as foot placement, hip position, something like that. And the fact that if you ever stop moving, you're dead, and you combine the two, you're always moving and always taking care of the little shit, and the big stuff takes care of itself.
Yep, exactly.
And it translates perfectly over into the hunt world. Handle the little stuff, focus on the details, the little things, and make sure it's done right. And everything works out in the end. It just does.
Yeah, and I never used to be like that, man. I was the laziest guy in the world when it came to hunting. I got my hunting license in July, sent my doe tags. I sat in my tree opening day. That was the only time I was ever worried about hunting. I didn't care about all the summer. That wasn't a thing for me. That's growing up. It's not the type of hunting I grew up doing. The way I'm hunting now.
Yeah,
I grew up with
it's their traditional Pennsylvania hunting.
Yeah, that's how I grew up. So I never really, and then when I found out there's other shit involved, I was like, this is fucking awesome. You're telling me I could do stuff that involves hunting in
all year.
July and June? Yeah, I'm down, man. And then, don't even get me started when I discovered you could shoot turkeys. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go, dude. Hunting in the spring? I thought this was just fucking rainbow trout season.
Yep. And then it becomes a 365 obsession.
Yep.
Oh my, dude, you have no idea. It's crazy. God bless my girlfriend, man. I love her. I told her I'd put a little shout out for her. She deals with my craziness and never home and always leaving. So God bless her. She's actually getting up to move to West Virginia with me, knowing that I'm chasing a dream. So she's on board.
Yeah, we look forward to having you out our way.
Yeah, excited, man.
Well,
It's tough. It's tough past the south of the Mason-Dixon line, though.
for you. Don't get me
People are way
wrong.
too nice.
Trev got a good taste of Virginia hunting this year, and what I thought was a great property, we got our asses absolutely handed to us. And then he went home and he's like, "No, that's not how it is back home." I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm missing something here."
Yeah.
I want that.
It's a different style of hunting, I guess. Like, well, actually, no, you kind of got it in Pennsylvania, though. You have the mountains too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, where we are, we're like where our lease is. It's all farmlands, but where our deer camp is upstate, man, it's all high mountains, heavy mountains.
What part of upstate are you guys in?
Potter County, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah, so
We're up by the New York border. We're right on the border. We have a deer camp that
you're hunting right up where I hunt. So I've got a place, farm I work on, help hay and do some other work on for the old man right there in Friendsville, just below the New York border as well.
Yeah. We're right up there. It's like north central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and that's very much like hunting down here where I brought Trev.
Yeah, it's real heavy mountains. We got a bunch of ridge running deer up there. I mean, we don't got studs up there, but it's fun hunting though. I mean, it's real fun hunting, especially with the gun, because you can walk for miles. It's a lot of open land, a lot of public land. It's good hunting, but you won't get those 140s, 130s studs walking around. So that's the only problem with that. That's why we're kind of blessed where we are down here, our southeast Pennsylvania. We're in a special regulations area, but we got some pretty nice deer running around here, because it's to get a spot to hunt down here, you really got to get lucky or know somebody, because everything's built up and you don't got many pro hunters down this area.
Well, it just happens that we know you, and I have a Pennsylvania tag.
Oh, well, there you go. Come down. Come on down.
I think is Pennsylvania over the counter
for tags.
Yeah.
Just buck tag. You get that with your license. Different tags you got to mail in.
You have to apply at the local court or put in for it through mail. I actually just got mine in the mail.
And it could get real confusing at times if you got to read the book and stuff. But yeah.
Did they bump you guys up down there to do two does this year? Or are you guys still at one?
We are a totally different situation than the rest of the state. We're kind of blessed. I mean, we're in a special regulation area where there's 2 zones in our area, or 3 zones, and we start in September. The rest of the state, I think they start in October. I don't even know, because I've always hunted
it's mid-October. The rest of the state.
Yeah, we're September 14th. Like we're like right there.
No kidding.
So we're real early. Yeah, we're special regs. We can actually run feeders during hunting season. You can't do that in the rest of the state. And we can have unlimited doe tags. If you pay for them, you can have as many as you want. So we're pretty blessed. Yeah, but it's so hard. The reason being, like I said, they're trying to thin the herd down here because there's nowhere to hunt, because there's so many houses, and all the farmlands around here is a bunch of rich guys that don't like hunting, and God forbid you go to ask to hunt there, you're going to be getting chased off the porch with a shotgun. So that's why they're giving the guys who do hunt, they want them to kill as many deer as they can around here.
Yep.
It's sad that it has to be that way, but we kind of lucked out with that.
Yeah, but at least you got some Sundays coming this year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I mean, it's the 3 Sundays. I'm blessed with that. It's pretty good. It's a long overdue. I mean, I don't know if it's going to stick. We'll see. I just hope it keeps moving forward and doesn't take a step backwards.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, watching the whole procession building up to getting just the 3 days.
Yeah.
Watching that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I talked to Kenny, and I love it, and I love the Pennsylvania Game Commission. I've actually had really good encounter. Every time I've had an encounter with them, I've had a great encounter. There's no means a bash on them, but I kind of felt like the 3 days was like here you go, now you got your Sunday hunt and shut up kind of thing.
Well, if you followed the way the court processions went and everything there,
I watched it, man.
It was done. Every Sunday was done. But then certain people couldn't shut their mouths.
Well, we got farmers driving around here with bumper stickers saying no Sunday hunting.
Yep.
And it's crazy, man, because they don't make I don't like getting into it. They don't even make it. They don't make any sense. They say that the reason why they don't want Sunday hunting is because they don't want people hunting on their property. Well, what if I hunted on your property on a Saturday?
Yeah, what's the difference?
They don't want people sneaking on their property is what they're saying. Yeah. But you can't do that any other day. So why? Right. It doesn't make any sense to me, but you gotta abide to both sides, I guess, you know?
Yeah. And I'm with you there. And it makes me scratch my head that the biggest proponents are actually agriculture based groups.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's sad, but that's kind of the fading industry right now too.
Yeah, so. It's not the tree huggers, it's not the it's not PETA, it's local agriculture groups are the ones who are pushing back.
Well, the land that we hunt, it's not. I wouldn't even call it a lease. Actually, it's 30 acres that this older woman. If you guys, you probably have no idea. You ever heard of New Hope, Pennsylvania?
Yes, I have.
That's where we hunt, and we have 30 acres. This older woman, she lives there by herself, and she lets us hunt there because she knows about how deer hit cars and stuff, and that's kind of how we got it. And we're just so blessed, you know, like that doesn't happen. I have people all the time tell me, you hunt in New Hope, like you hunt down there. I'm like, yeah. They're like, how the hell did you get that? It was just by luck, by Kenny knew someone who knew her, and it just, now we manage it, and it's pretty much ours to a sense.
That's awesome, man.
And because she knows the deal, you know, she's not like her neighbors, the other people. Because I got some stories about the neighbors, man.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
I've had some problems in this past season. I mean, if you want me to get into it, I can get into it.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, give us a story.
Yeah, so
these are always the best.
So we've been hunting. I could get back to where me and Kenny started hunting. We started hunting at this property about 4 or 5 years ago. Never had a problem. Never met her neighbors. Never seen her neighbors. And my tree stand's located. There's a whole field, about a 200 yard field that I'm on the edge of at this bottleneck where the two fields connect. She doesn't own the field. She just owns the woods. But the property line, there's a line that goes like diagonal through the field, so I could shoot into the field for about 50-60 yards. So I have my tree stand right on the field edge where they hug the tree line, and I've never seen a guy drive through there. I've never seen anyone ever. So last season in September, I hung this new set on the field edge where I seen a lot of bucks. I was super excited, and every sit I hear a quad in the distance. This quad comes rolling by me on the field edge, doesn't look up at me, doesn't see me, doesn't acknowledge me at last light every single night in September at prime time. And scares all. I have 50 deer in the field milling. Scares them all away. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Who the fuck is this guy? I'm fired up because I don't know who the hell he is, because we've been hunting there for 4 years, and the property owner has never changed. So I'm like, why is this guy all of a sudden now want to do this? And he truly doesn't see me. Like, he doesn't look up at me. And I have no idea how to get his attention because I never know when he's going to creep up on me. So the one time he drove by and I seen him coming out, and I was like, fuck this. I'll ruin my hunt. I don't care. I'll get out of the tree stand. I got out of the tree stand. I waved to him. I was like, hey, yo, what are you doing? He was like, oh, I didn't know you were hunting here. I was like, yeah. He's like, all right. Yeah, I won't come here when you're hunting. I was like, how are you going to know when I'm not hunting? He's like, oh. So I was like, here, take my number. So he gave me his number, and I texted him every day that I was hunting, which was fucking every day. So I think he started to not like that he can't drive his precious quad around. So I text him every day, and he would never respond. I just wouldn't see him. And then he texted me, and he's like, hey, if you ever need to recover a deer on my property, you can. I said, "Oh, sweet, man, thanks." Because he has prime land. He has about 300 acres of woods and fields. All the big bucks we see come from his woods. That's where they're bedding down there. We've asked to hunt there numerous times, and he's always gives us the shake around. He doesn't never but never a yes. So we just kind of backed off. And so this year, but coming to I was thinking around March, we hung a feeder on the tree line with some minerals and stuff, and I put a trail camera on the tree line. I come back the next week to check the camera. The camera's leaned up against a tree and turned around. I'm like, all right, I don't know who did this. So I called him and I said, hey, buddy, I said, I don't know if you knocked this over with your quad or if it was you or not. Did you knock this trail camera over? And he said, oh, no, I didn't knock it over. I picked it up and put it against the tree. I was like, why the fuck would you do that? And he was like, well, it was on my property. I said, no, it's not. And I said, you want to meet me? I'm here. I have the property lines printed out. I have them right here. This is not your property. But it's tough because it's a tough situation because I don't want to piss him off because every deer that we shoot runs onto his property and we have to recover it.
Right.
So I don't want him getting, it's a real tough situation.
Yeah, you got to manage the relationship.
I don't want to be an asshole to him, but when he starts touching my shit, because I don't live close to the lease where I could just drive there after work. I live an hour away. So when I put a trail camera out there, I'm excited to go see what it is. And then I get there and it's turned over. You could see my frustration with that.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. So I called him out on it and he was like, yeah. Whatever. Just put it back. You can put it back. It's fine. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So you did all that for you just to tell me to do that. And I haven't talked to him since, but so this year's going to be, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do if we want to actually go talk to him in person and just be like, listen, dude, this is it. This is what we're doing. We're filming. We're trying to get this. We're trying to do this. Can you just work with us? And if you have a problem, call us first, stuff like that. And that's the type of people that live around this area that we hunt. So that's why we're so blessed to be able to have the little 30 acres that we do have.
Yeah. But even that, the fact that he'll talk to you and work with you and he didn't just steal your camera or smash your camera, that's pretty big down there.
Yeah, it is. And I'm blessed that he's not a hunter too, because he kind of would have fucked us out of a lot of deer.
Yeah, definitely.
All the big deer that come on our property come from his. Crazy. But yeah, we're pretty lucky, man. We can't really complain, but we do have our bad apples just like everywhere.
For sure.
That's just suburban hunting in itself, dude.
Yeah, and I'm not used to that. I told you I grew up hunting. Steven knows up in Potter County where that is. We didn't have neighbors for miles at our camp, so I never had to really deal with people.
Oh, yeah. If you ran into someone out there or something was wrong or you crossed a line you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, if I run into someone in the woods up there, man, something's not good.
That's like when I went down to Virginia and was hunting down there. It's just a total different world compared to the suburban hunting that I hunt up here, like in the rules and the regs and stuff. So it's definitely, I get it. I understand it. I mean, you're worried about, down here, if the deer runs on the wrong person's property, you got to call the warden to go and get it because the person won't let you on the property.
That's actually a misconception that I had for years. I thought that, I don't know how it is in your guys' state, but I thought that if you call the game commission, the landowner has to let you go get it. No. That's entirely not true. And I was totally misinformed. And that's a law that definitely needs to be changed because that deer is just going to sit there. I don't know why that's legal.
Yeah, I think that should fall under want and waste.
Yeah, I don't really like that at all, but I didn't know that. So that's when I started to really friendly with the guy because I didn't really want him to screw us over like that. But that's why, we're kind of done here. I mean, this might be our last year hunting this property. I mean, because I'm moving out there and I'll be close to Ohio and stuff, and we're really looking at a lease out there and trying to just move on to bigger and better things because we've been doing everything we can to grow these deer on our property, and we haven't had a deer on camera above a 130, 135 is probably the biggest deer we've ever had on camera. We've done everything we could do. Food plots, mineral sites. I think it's a genetic thing. I mean, we see some big bucks during the rut, but in-house, that are staying around, you don't got nothing that's going to get you excited. So if we want to keep growing this thing and we want to keep shooting, I want to shoot big deer, I got to go where they are. And that's kind of what we're doing.
Cool. Well, I've got to ask, so do you put in for the Pennsylvania elk draw?
I did twice. I haven't because I heard a lot about how that hunting is, and I'd rather just go out to Colorado and do it myself, because I hear some horror stories about it, about some of these elk hunts, how they kind of have them organized. It didn't really seem much like hunting to me.
Like what?
Like, well, that's not how I wanted to shoot my first elk.
So how do they do it? That's so different.
You have to have a guide. You have to pay for a guide, so it's not real. It's not just you get a tag and you get to go out. It's not like that.
Oh, so you can't hunt public land or anything? You got to get a guide to do it?
Well,
it is public land.
Yeah,
it's public land. But I'm not 100, but I'm 98% sure that's what you need to do. You need to actually get a guide and stuff like that.
I don't know. I was looking at some stuff because I just put in last week for it. And last year they were talking about a couple of guys who were solo hunting without a guide. They didn't have success, and they kept trying to push that as an attribution to if they had a guide, they could have killed. But
that's probably, maybe most of them just use guides, and that's what I thought. I don't know. I never did it. I never really was.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm hard-headed. I love my elk hunting, and if I can pull that tag, then I'll go out there and get stupid and see if I can't waste the money on it.
Of course. Yeah. I every year I say I'm going to do it, or send in the lottery, try to get it, but I never end up getting around to it.
It's one of those things, like, I beat myself up because for the past 6 years I haven't. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, it's $12 to put in. I mean, that's a single stop at 7-Eleven.
I know, right?
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just put in and start accumulating points and just keep putting in for the early archery, either sex, down in a particular unit, and just build those points. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. Ultimately, it's still the cheapest elk hunt I've ever heard of in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's getting drawn's the hard part.
Population is unbelievably growing fast.
Oh, yeah. And there were some studs that came out last year.
I think their goal is to try to get it to be like a regular tag. Like, I'm talking 50 years down the road, but I think that's like their ultimate goal, because I've seen them. They're up by our camp. You could drive 30 minutes to the public land where they're at. They're everywhere. Like, they're really growing them good.
Well, and that's the thing is, in the fall, you can go up and camp out there. What is it, at Elk City?
You got Elk City, somewhere out by Gailton.
Yeah.
A bunch of them. You can see them just wandering around.
You just camp out at the campgrounds there and sit and listen to the elk bugle. They'll come into the campgrounds.
Yeah.
You know, it's starting to get nuts up there.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're really, and if you look at the history books, Pennsylvania used to have a shit ton of elk. A lot. It used to be they have so many towns up there named after elk.
Right.
Because it used to be a really big species up there, and then it kind of faded off. But they're definitely doing their work, and they're growing it up.
I was going to go down there shed hunting, but the problem with that is I've heard that the locals get really crazy about the antlers.
I don't know that for a fact, but knowing the locals up there, they don't like people that aren't from there. So probably they don't like us. We've had a camp there for over 60 years, and they still hate us.
Well,
really?
The way I see it is it's public land, and if I get in there and find it first, guess what? It's mine.
Yep. That damn Flatlander took my fucking elk shed.
Yeah, well, hate to tell them, but my elevation right here where I'm at's a little bit higher than them, so they can't call me a Flatlander. And I came from 8,000 feet, so they really can't call me a Flatlander.
That's what the Northerners do, like in New Hampshire and stuff. They call us, or Maine, they call us all Flatlanders when we come up from Connecticut to go up their shed hunting. They freak out about it. They hate it, especially when they see our plates.
Yeah, that's how they are. They hate us, dude. We go to the local bar, man. They fucking hate us. Like, they just, because up there we'll tip. Like, there'll be 5 of us. We'll tip $20 at the bar, and they think we're being like we're showing off, like we're being assholes. We're just, that's just where we live. Tipping $20 for 4 dudes at a bar is not a bad thing, and they look at us like we're like showboating that we have money because we're from the Philadelphia area, and they just fucking hate us. There's so many horror stories of them treating, doing shit to fucked up for people coming up there.
Really?
It's hard. Yeah, they're a different breed up there.
Yeah. That's what happens when you live in the woods.
You got good guys, though. You do got good guys.
So what's coming? What's some of the future for Full Draw Assassins? You got anything new up and coming, or?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I hope you're wearing it right now. I mean, we got merchandise.
I am actually wearing it.
That boy, Trev. There you go. So yeah, we got merchandise that we roll. I never really wanted to do that, but then so many people started asking for it, so I was like, okay, we got to do something, and then it turned into that. But yeah, we're really just focused on Ohio in November and October. Like that's just our main focus. Like that's all we're talking about. I mean, we're excited for PA opener too, but we're just still planning out and picking spots. I mean, we're going back out there in August to scout one last time and put some trail cameras up, and yeah, just really focusing hard on it. Keep looking at the maps every day, looking at new spots that we didn't look at when we were out there last time. So that's just the big main focus out for going out there.
So you've preseason prepped in Ohio already, right?
Yeah, we went out there in March. Right when they started shutting shit down. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I actually was that Friday that we're done work, and I was done work for 2 months after that. But that's when we headed up there. Everything was closed. Luckily, our hotel was open, and we just spent 4 days walking miles and miles and miles and on all these Ohio public lands. And public land's a new venture for us. You know, we were spoiled with our private property, and we just wanted to go outside our comfort zone and do it the hard way and show people we're legit and we're not fucking around and we're not sitting on 30 acres shooting does all the time. And we want to go try to get an Ohio bruiser, you know, and do it the hard way.
I hear you. Yeah, I think we're going to make the same attempt ourselves. We're blessed that we have a good buddy, Eric, who I guarantee you is sitting in this truck right now laughing, telling us to shut up. But he's been a godsend as far as our Ohio plans have been.
Yeah.
Just making things happen.
Yeah, he's putting the boots on the ground, and you know, there's Chris Egler. He's also helping him out and stuff, and kind of, you know, so that it can make it for a very successful hunt for us, because we don't really have the chance or the opportunity to be able to go down there, or the time. I'm more or less. I mean, both of us are really busy to be able to go there and scout. So, like, for you to go there in March, that's a huge step in the direction. And so what are you doing to kind of prep for that? Like, I know for a lot of people, they don't, you know, they're kind of pigeonholed to staying in their local area, right? So like for you to like take that leap and go to Ohio, like what did you do? Like how did it all occur? Like what are you doing to prepare for that?
What made us kind of go out there?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like,
yeah. I can't speak English. I'm sorry. I'm trying to sound smart, but I actually sound like a fucking idiot. So go ahead.
That's all the water in your ear.
Yeah. It's that hat, man.
Oh, but, it's squeezing a little tight. It's that leather. It's bouncing on my forehead. No, go ahead.
No, so I actually went hunting in Ohio in about 2014 with all my gun hunting buddies. That was a wing and a prayer. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. My buddy met a guy who lives in Ohio in Cancun, and he was like, "Oh, you hunt? Come out to Ohio next hunting season." So we went out there, and we hunted one day, and it turned into just a fucking drinking fest for 10 days. I was young, dude. I didn't know. Like, I knew I loved hunting, but I didn't know, like, oh, Ohio has big deer. Like, I didn't know that shit. I had no idea. And then I seen big deer driving around. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then over time, just learning about it, I was like, dude, I got to go back there, man. But I want to go back there for bow hunting. Like, gun hunting in Ohio on public land was fucking crazy, dude. It was orange everywhere. This is ridiculous. It was like worse than PA. It was unbelievable. I'm like, this sucks. I'm not doing this again. No way. I'm like, if I ever go out there again, it's archery. And then I told Kenny, I said, dude, you want to chase big bucks, dude? And he's like, always. And I was like, let's go to Ohio. And he's like, all right, I'm down. And then we'd go out in March. I'm a firm believer if you hunt public land to scout in February and March, because that's kind of how the terrain's going to look when you go out in November. If you go scouting in the summer when everything's grown up, you don't know what that tree's going to look like in the fall. You have no idea. So I like going out in March because all the leaves are still down, so I could see kind of what it's going to look like come hunting season. So that's why we decided to go out in March. We picked out numerous spots. We hiked miles and miles. We have about 5 spots between the both of us that are just we did a checklist after every day going into it. 1 out of 5 for every category. I said, was there hunting presence there, like old tree stands, trash, anything, we gave that a number. And then we did access, gave that a number, deer sign, gave that a number, rubs, gave that a number. We made like a spreadsheet and narrowed it down to 5 solid spots that we want to hunt. We found a really nice shed out there. You could go on our page and see it. And you can even watch
it's a stud.
Our whole scouting trips on YouTube. So, but we found that nice shed on the last day, the last 2 hours of a 4-day scouting trip. So that was kind of like the cherry on top for all the hard work we did walking around and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And that was the first thing I did when I found out. I said, "Aren't you fucking glad we're coming out here?" And he just looked at me and smiled. So that's kind of the main reason we're going out there.
That's awesome, man. That's what it's all about right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can hunt and be comfortable where you hunt. Like, that's fine. Like, there's no problem with that. I love where we hunt in Pennsylvania, but nah, dude, I I want to chase the dream, man. Chasing the dream involves chasing big bucks, and that's what I'm going to do.
I love it, especially Ohio, man. You never know what's going to come around the corner. It seems like. I don't want to get too much into it, man, because we got a lot of Ohio friends that would probably be really upset.
Oh, they're coming out there?
No. Just if we talk too much about it and put too much light on how it's such a sleeper state.
It's not. It's starting not to be, which sucks. When I went out there the first time, it definitely was. The out-of-state license was half the freaking price when I went out there the first time.
Mm-hmm. What's it now?
$250.
Jeez. With tags?
When I went there the first time, it was like one something.
With tags?
Yeah, I think I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that's all included.
You get an either sex tag, I think, and then
yeah.
It's all worth it when you figure $250 for the license, $600 for the mount. Whatever. It's only a 7-Eleven stop.
Still cheaper than paying an outfitter.
Yeah, it's very true. Yep.
And it's like Ohio's just like Pennsylvania, man. I mean, the terrain's the same. It's really not a big leap for us. It's not like we're going to the prairies or something. So it's not that different. It's just around the corner you can have a fucking buck of a lifetime walk up on you that we know we're not going to have at our property. That, you know what I mean? And it's worth that.
What's your dream hunt, Derek?
Oh, hunting whitetails in Kansas or
really
hunting elk in Utah.
Why do you say Kansas? Why do you say Kansas?
Always was drawn to Kansas, man. All my favorite hunting shows, all my favorite episodes of shows were always in Kansas, and I just love the open fields and hunting on like a small tree and a little pasture, man, and an open field and seeing them bucks come through all those high grass, man. Just something about that gives me chills, dude. I'd love to see that.
Oh, I'm with it. I'm totally with it. Like, especially and they're running down those the transitions and the little tiny creek bottoms, and I'm all about it.
I grew up hunting hardwoods, just like you boys probably did. So something like that's completely different from me. So I would love to experience that type of terrain.
Well, I don't know about Steven because he got to hunt in the sandland, but
it's a sandland shit.
Is it the desert? Is it Arizona's the desert?
Have you ever looked up the White Mountains, Arizona?
No, never, dude. Never.
Yeah, it's about 8,000 feet at the base. We have ski resorts. It looks more like Colorado. We have the biggest elk in the U.S. It's all pine and aspen, and very occasionally you'll find some oak, but it's just basically a conifer forest. It's the largest pine forest in the U.S.
Yeah, that's like the desert, bro.
Nah. You're talking, you drop down 2.5 hours below us into the Mogollon Rim and down into the valley and whatnot. Yes, then you're getting into it, but you're in Coues deer country and desert muley country. But where I'm at was high mountain elk and mule deer and antelope and all the big stuff.
Now in Arizona elk tag, Steve, that's really hard to get, right?
Even as a local, it's hard to get. It is insane.
Yeah.
So my oldest brother put in for about 22 years straight before he drew his archery elk tag in a trophy unit.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I put in my entire life and only ever pulled 2 tags.
Did he have success?
Oh, yeah. First one was a cow. Second one was a bull in, I I'm not even going to say the unit, but around where I grew up, and we pulled a 350 bull on second to the last day.
Oh, then it was worth it then. That's awesome.
And everyone laughs because I'm like, oh, it's a 350 bull. Well, the unit we're hunting, if you're persistent and patient, we produce 400-inch bulls consistently.
Yeah.
So I tell everyone, it's like, oh, a 350 bull's a last day bull, and people think I'm full of shit. I'm like,
yeah.
Until you've been there and seen the quality of game there, trust me.
I couldn't even imagine, dude. You talk about it all the time, like the strip and all that shit.
Oh,
I couldn't even imagine.
You don't even want to get into the Arizona strip with me. It's insane. Biggest mule deer in the world, hands down. Pulling
now,
a tag there
is the mule deer?
Certain units are over the counter. We don't have doe tags. It's if you're hunting buck.
Okay.
And the over the counter units are usually our weaker units. It is going to be a tough hunt for you. I'm not saying it's impossible. I've pulled a couple off of over the counter tags. But if you want the good units where the big guys are, it's draw only. And they are near impossible to pull off. I mean, we're talking like 1 in 30,000 draw.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
That means one thing. There's big deer there.
I can give you a couple pages to look at afterwards that you can go in and see them and you'll be like, holy shit.
Well, don't they shoot muleys in the 300-inch range?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, you get up there on them strip bucks, you're passing 200-inch bucks.
Yeah.
Because around the next ridge or off the next drop-off, you may encounter an absolute unseen giant.
And mule deer, man, they're not easy to hunt, dude. They're hard animals to bow hunt.
Oh, yeah, it's tough hunting. Like I said, I don't think I've ever spent a day out hunting that I didn't walk more than or less than 10 miles.
Holy shit, yeah.
Wow.
But that was before I realized if you get on a high knob and you glass and then stock, it's a little less. We'd get on a ridge and we'd run it and we'd work it and just look and hunt and try to bump or try to find. And, we were just a bunch of punk kids at the time too. So we weren't very educated, but we could find deer and kill them.
Damn. Isn't Rack Rage doing a little bit of elk stuff also?
Yeah, actually, Rack Ridge, they got a new logo out that they designed with kind of a hunter backpacking out of Elkhead. It's pretty sick, actually. Do
you want to explain what Rack Rage is kind of a little bit for everybody, just so they kind of know? Because I know you work a lot with them and
a little bit of a prelude.
Yeah. Actually, it started out with just social media, how it is. A guy dropped me a message. I actually won a giveaway of his, and I won some stickers, and then that's kind of how it started. And then we kept talking, and then we met in Harrisburg at the Great Outdoor Show. He was with his wife and his 2 kids, and we ended up going out to dinner that night and just shooting the shit and drinking some beers and having a good night. And then it turned into, hey, yeah, if you guys are ever out in Western Pennsylvania, come on out. And we went out there, and I was able to shoot my first turkey. It was awesome. He put us on some birds, and yeah, Steve's a really good dude. He's the owner of Rack Rage. He has a really good vision, man. He makes a really good product. He has shirts for women, men, hats, beer koozies, tumblers. He has everything. He just loves hunting and just wanted to put his vision onto a shirt and onto merchandise. And he's been so good to us, and I couldn't be more grateful for him. But he's really grinding, man. He's a good dude. You go check him out, dude. His shirts and stuff are awesome. He doesn't cut corners with anything. It's all good material. Everything's great.
So speaking of, where can you find him?
Yeah, you go to his Instagram at Rack Rage, and then there's a link to his website, rackrage.net. And if you guys actually wanted to buy some stuff, you can use our code that we have for us. It's full draw. It'll give you 20% off anything on his website. So
damn, 20%.
Yeah, go check him out, man. He's been real good.
You must be real tight with him. You must be real tight with him.
He likes you.
20%. Jeez.
That's just the code for you guys. You know what I mean?
Wait, so all the listeners don't listen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was just kidding.
Yeah,
that's great.
So, man, I got to ask one question, dude, and it's one question we always ask is what drives you outdoors, man?
Oh, I was waiting for that one. Yeah, that's tough, dude. That's tough, and I'm sure a lot of people have trouble answering this because there's so many things. Honestly, there's like two things. I mean, the first thing is family tradition, man. Every one of my family's hunted and took me outdoors as a kid growing up, fishing, hunting, hiking, doing everything you could do outside, man. And as my family got older and cousins started having kids and just the family started to stray away from the hunting tradition, I'm kind of the last one keeping it alive, especially and on a big level too. I'm bow hunting, doing all this extra stuff that no one really did. So it's good to leave the family name and keep pushing forward and keep hunting and keep going outdoors. And hopefully I teach my kids, if I ever have kids one day, the meaning of going outside and living the family name up to the tradition of hunting. So, and then now my drive's completely changed over the last year. It used to be able to go outdoors and everything was good for me. But now having a camera in my hand and taking pictures and videos and just being able to broadcast what I see outdoors to everyone to get people to kind of want to go outdoors and hunt and do other things, man, it drives me every day. It drives me to get that footage, to get that shot, and to kind of teach with my photos and my videos and stuff like that.
That's badass, man.
Beautiful.
It is totally beautiful.
Oh, that's music to my ears. Oh,
somebody who's in it for the right reasons, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you can't be in it for anything else but that, you know?
Definitely. You know, keep pushing it forward and get the next generation out there.
That's all it is. And it's, like I said, where we live, man, that means more than anything to us, because to get these kids around our area to try to get outdoors, and it's hard, but hopefully they can see what we're doing and want to do it and want to get outside, man.
Sweet. Well, Derek, before we let you go real quick, let everybody know again where they can find you.
Okay, you guys, you can find us at Full Draw Assassins on Instagram, and you can head over to our YouTube at Full Draw Assassins and keep an eye out. Hunting season's coming, so hopefully we have some really good footage coming to you guys soon.
Awesome. Don't forget to buy a hat.
Yeah, don't forget to buy a hat. What are you guys doing? Message us.
Right? Get on it. No,
you got new stickers too, so don't forget.
We got new stickers. I'll be sending you, boys.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yep. Get that merch out. We'll keep pushing it.
Yeah. Thanks, fellas. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. And if you ever have any questions or anything, reach out, ask Derek and Kenny. They'll tell you what they know. And like I said, they're doing it like the everyday average person going out and just getting it. You don't get that a lot. You're either an expert or you're not. These guys are telling you how it really is, and you should follow along. That's Thanks, really... That's the way I see it. I don't know if Trev sees it. He may think I'm stupid. I don't know. I already know he does. Exactly. But yeah, ultimately, give these guys a follow. Check them out. Check out their YouTube, and just check out what they're doing. It's cool. It's unique, and it's raw, real. I mean, there's in terms of raw, real, no bullshit. You know, they're going to show you how it is. There's no corners cut. There's no, hey, we're producing this to not show you reality. And that's all you can ask for. Honestly, it's the way that the industry needs to curve back to, man, because everybody's kind of sick and tired of that, and I'm not crush on somebody, canned hunting. Yeah. And the Midwest and the whole, like, they've managed a property for 101 years. Their family managed it, and there's 160-inch deer coming around every tree. And, yeah, that's great. But, what us real blue-collar people that chase the dream, this is what they're doing. So go and follow them. Yeah. Full Draw Assassins.
Thanks, guys. That's all we're trying to do, man. We're not trying to act like we have 180-inch deer running around on our Illinois farm. We're telling you how it is. We're suburban Pennsylvania, trying to shoot something and get some meat on the ground and get it on film. That's the short and simple version of us. That's all we are.
Hell yeah, man. Like I said before, it's beautiful. So thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry you had to rush home from work to talk to us, or not. But for everybody out there listening, we appreciate you, and we want to thank you guys for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.